Jeff Wilson Jr. Game ball goes to Jeff Wilson Jr. A lot of people talking about CJ Beathard. I'm going to get to him next. He was terrific. And Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. But let's be real clear. The game ball goes to Jeff Wilson Jr. The running back never gets any credit. He's supposed to be replaceable. He's supposed to be a product of his blocking and his scheme. Forget all that. The Niners would be a whole lot better this year if they had any type of stability at their running back position. And you look at what Jeff Wilson Jr. did in this game, what he did against the Patriots a few weeks ago, and you look at him like, geez, when he's healthy, what can't he do? Is he not elite? I mean, he's not Derrick Henry, but he runs hard. And like seeing him go for 180 yards in this game and 100 plus against the Patriots, you're thinking, what if the Niners had just given him 15 touches in the Super Bowl, given Raheem Mostert 15 touches in the Super Bowl, benched Tevin Coleman when it was obvious that that was necessary more than a year ago, and featured the right running backs? Where would this team be? How many rings would be passed out? I mean, the team would have a ring. If they had just figured out a little earlier how freaking good, how much of a stud Jeff Wilson Jr. is, this team would all have rings. It's kind of ironic. It's tragicomic. Anyway, what's the point of looking back? Let's look ahead. The Niners have at least 2 starting caliber running backs on their team. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. Got to be the best 1-2 punch in the NFL. A great compliment. And you're almost, I mean, I can't say that Jeff Wilson Jr. is better than Raheem Mostert because Raheem Mostert is unreal. I mean, he makes a 6-yard run look like a walk in the park. But I got to say that Jeff Wilson Jr. is the most violent runner on the team, the best runner between the tackles. He's also functional outside the tackles, and he's the best receiver out of the backfield on the team. And he's a good blocker. Hell of a player. The Niners have to bring him back and keep him on this team. He was the backbone of what they were trying to accomplish today. They wouldn't have won this game if he hadn't been the dominant running back he was, averaging 8 yards per carry on a huge workload. That was one of the more impressive performances by a running back I've seen since covering the team. The most impressive running performances by Niner running backs since I've been covering the team. This one today, Raheem Mostert in the NFC Championship game. A bunch of games by Frank Gore, and maybe one by Carlos Hyde. That's about it. So salute to Jeff Wilson Jr. You were the best player on the field today, better than Kyler Murray, better than Fred Warner, better than Trent Williams. You're a stud. Congratulations. I hope you get paid and get a lot of money. I worked some magic. I'm a quality control guy, but in the offseason, I'm an agent too. And if you guys remember, I got George Kittle paid this offseason. I got Raheem Mostert paid this offseason. Jeff, I'm going to work for you too. And you don't even owe me anything. I'm not even going to ask for my customary nickel, which people usually pay me at some point. Actually, no one's ever paid me a nickel. I'm lying. So I'll do it pro bono for you, Jeff, because I respect your game and what you've been through. I love your story. I love people like you. Keep good going. And the reason I'm making such a point to talk about you first is because I know every single game story is going to be about CJ Beathard and his story and what he overcame. And yeah, that's true. But you know what? None of these players would have won this game without Jeff Wilson Jr. doing the dirty work, getting, carrying the team and getting no credit. I already know people are going to be like, yeah, no, it was Kyle. Forget that. Good for you, Jeff. Good for you. Niners are lucky to have you.